Ladies and gentlemen, there is a deep and liberating truth that has resonated throughout the ages. When God protects you, no one, absolutely no one, can stop you. This statement is not mere optimism. It is a reality grounded in the unshakable power of divine protection. Think for a moment about the forces in this world. Nations rise and fall. Plans are made and undone. Yet there is a higher authority, a divine shield that stands between you and every force seeking to undermine your purpose. This protection isn't passive, it's active, intentional, and limitless. Divine protection is a concept that transcends human understanding. It is the assurance that a higher power watches over us, shielding us from harm, guiding us through adversity, and ensuring that no weapon formed against us can prosper. When we speak of God's protection, we are referring to something far greater than physical safety. It is a deep, encompassing presence that guards our hearts, minds, and spirits. This protection operates beyond the limits of human comprehension, for it is rooted in a divine plan that is perfect, unshakable, and eternal. To understand the nature of divine protection, we must first recognize its source. God's protection is not something earned or bargained for. It is an expression of his love and sovereignty. It is a covenant promise that extends to those who trust in him. This protection is not limited by geography, circumstances, or time. It is constant, steadfast, and all-encompassing. It is a reflection of God's character, faithful, merciful, and omnipotent. When he protects, it is not merely a passive act of defense, but an active and deliberate expression of his care for his people. One of the most profound aspects of divine protection is that it operates in ways we often cannot see. There are countless instances in life where we are spared from harm without ever realizing it. Perhaps we avoided an accident by mere seconds or found ourselves making a decision that seemed insignificant at the time, but ultimately saved us from calamity. These moments are not coincidences. They are glimpses of a divine hand at work. God's protection often manifests in the unseen, orchestrating circumstances for our good and shielding us from dangers we are unaware of. This protection, however, does not mean that life will be free from challenges or difficulties. On the contrary, trials are an inevitable part of the human experience. Divine protection does not eliminate challenges, but ensures that they do not overcome us. It is the assurance that even in the midst of the storm, we are not alone. God's protection is the strength that sustains us, the peace that calms us, and the hope that carries us forward. It is a reminder that no matter how dark the night, the light of his presence will never be extinguished. A crucial aspect of divine protection is its alignment with God's purpose for our lives. Every individual has a unique calling, a purpose that is divinely ordained. God's protection is designed to ensure that his plans for us are fulfilled. This means that no opposition, no setback, and no adversary can derail his purpose. What may seem like a delay or a failure to us is often a divine detour, redirecting us to a path that leads to greater growth and fulfillment. His protection is not just about preserving us from harm, it is about positioning us for purpose. Another remarkable feature of divine protection is its transformative power. It not only shields us, but also empowers us. When we know that we are under God's protection, we can face life's challenges with confidence and courage. Fear loses its grip, and faith takes its place. This confidence is not arrogance, it is a quiet assurance that comes from knowing we are held by a power greater than ourselves. It allows us to step into the unknown, take risks, and pursue our purpose without being paralyzed by the fear of failure or opposition. Divine protection also serves as a testimony to others. When people see us navigate challenges with resilience, peace, and unwavering faith, it points them to the source of our strength. Our lives become a testament to God's faithfulness and a beacon of hope for those who are struggling. Divine protection is not just for our benefit, it's part of a larger narrative that draws others closer to him. Ultimately, the nature of divine protection is rooted in trust. To experience its fullness, we must place our trust in God, believing that he is faithful to his promises. This trust is not always easy, especially when we face circumstances that seem overwhelming or when the outcome is unclear. Yet it is in these moments that divine protection shines the brightest. It is the quiet assurance that even when we cannot see the way forward, God is already there making a way for us. In the grand tapestry of life, divine protection is the thread that weaves everything together. It is the guiding force that leads us through the highs and lows, the visible and invisible hand that keeps us secure. It is not bound by human logic or limited by earthly constraints. It is a gift, a promise, and a reflection of the boundless love of a God who never leaves us nor forsakes us. When we understand, embrace the nature of divine protection, we can walk through life with boldness, peace, and an unshakable confidence that no matter what comes our way, we are never out of his care. Faith is one of the most powerful forces in human existence, and it acts as a shield in ways that go beyond physical protection. It is a profound inner conviction that allows us to navigate life's uncertainties, face challenges, and overcome fears with unwavering confidence. Faith serves as a defense. not only against external threats, but also against internal doubts, insecurities, and fears that seek to destabilize us. It empowers us to trust in a higher power in the unseen and in the promises that transcend our immediate circumstances. At its core, faith is a trust-based relationship with God. It is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. This assurance is what forms the foundation of its shielding power. Faith does not deny the existence of difficulties. Rather, it reframes how we perceive and respond to them. While life presents us with uncertainties, faith equips us with the ability to move forward confidently, knowing that we are not walking alone. It builds an invisible wall around us that shields us from despair, even in the most challenging situations. One of the greatest functions of faith as a shield is its ability to counter fear. Fear is a paralyzing force, one that can cloud our judgment and prevent us from stepping into our potential. Faith, however, neutralizes fear by reminding us of God's sovereignty and His promises to protect, guide, and sustain us. It is through faith that we are reminded that no situation is beyond redemption and no obstacle is insurmountable when we are aligned with God's purpose. With faith as our shield, we can stand firm even when life's storms rage around us because we are anchored in a belief that God is greater than anything we face. Faith also shields us from the corrosive effects of doubt. Doubt often arises when we are faced with unanswered questions, delayed outcomes, or unexpected setbacks. It whispers lies that challenge our sense of purpose, value, and direction. Faith, however, silences these doubts by providing a steady reassurance that God's timing and plan are perfect. Even when we cannot see the full picture, faith allows us to trust that everything is working together for good. This trust creates a protective barrier against the mental and emotional turmoil that doubt can bring. Another dimension of faith as a shield lies in its ability to guard us from external influences that seek to undermine our confidence and integrity. In a world filled with negativity, skepticism, and opposition, faith serves as a filter, allowing us to discern truth from falsehood and hope from despair. It empowers us to stand firm in our beliefs and values, even when they are challenged or ridiculed. Faith does not just protect us from external criticism, it fortifies us from within, giving us the strength to remain steadfast in our convictions. Faith also enables us to view trials as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. It shields our perspective, ensuring that we do not become overwhelmed by the magnitude of our challenges. Through faith, we can see beyond the immediate pain or difficulty and recognize the potential for transformation and growth. This perspective allows us to endure hardship with grace and courage, knowing that every trial has a purpose and every setback is a setup for something greater. Moreover, faith as a shield is not something we wield alone. It is strengthened through connection with God and with others who share our beliefs. Prayer, meditation, and spiritual reflection deepen our faith, reinforcing its protective power. Similarly, community and fellowship with like-minded individuals encourage us, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. Together, these practices create a fortified shield that becomes increasingly impenetrable to the forces of negativity, fear, and doubt. Importantly, faith is not static, it is dynamic and active. It requires continual nurturing and practice. Like any shield, its strength depends on how well it is maintained. By feeding our faith with scripture, prayer, and acts of service, we ensure that it remains strong and effective. Faith grows when tested, and each time we face a challenge and emerge stronger, our shield becomes more resilient. Faith also protects our hearts and minds from becoming consumed by the trials of life. It reminds us that we are more than our circumstances and that our identity is rooted in something eternal. This understanding allows us to remain hopeful and optimistic, even when faced with difficulties. Faith shields us from despair by keeping our focus on the bigger picture and the promises that lie ahead. Ultimately, faith as a shield is a gift and a choice. It is both the armor that defends us and the force that propels us forward. It reminds us that we are never alone, that we are protected, and that we have the strength to endure and overcome. With faith as our shield, we are empowered to live boldly, to face challenges with courage, and to trust in the unwavering protection and guidance of God. The shield does not promise a life without challenges, but it guarantees that no challenge will ever defeat us as long as we hold on to the power of faith. Life is full of challenges, and while they often feel overwhelming, they serve a deeper purpose. Challenges are not designed to block our progress, but to test our resilience, faith, and determination. They are not barriers meant to stop us. Rather, they are tests meant to shape us, refine us, and prepare us for greater things. Recognizing this perspective transforms how we approach difficulties and empowers us to face them with courage and perseverance. Challenges are an inevitable part of life, but their purpose is often misunderstood. Many people view challenges as obstacles that hinder their journey, moments of misfortune, or signs of failure. However, challenges are opportunities in disguise. They provide us with the chance to grow, learn, and become stronger versions of ourselves. Much like a fire refines gold or pressure forms a diamond, challenges refine our character and reveal our hidden potential. Without them, we would remain stagnant, untested, and unaware of our true capabilities. One of the key aspects of challenges is their ability to reveal what we are made of. It is easy to feel confident and assured when everything is going smoothly. However, it is during difficult times that our true character is revealed. Challenges test our patience, resilience, and determination. They push us out of our comfort zones and demand that we rise to the occasion. This process may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary for growth. Every test we face provides an opportunity to strengthen our resolve and build the inner fortitude needed for future successes. Challenges also have a way of teaching us valuable lessons that we might not learn otherwise. They force us to adapt, problem solve, and think creatively. They teach us humility by reminding us that we cannot control everything, and they teach us perseverance by showing us the value of persistence. Each challenge carries a lesson that, if embraced, equips us for the road ahead. The insights gained during these moments become tools we can use to navigate future obstacles with greater wisdom and confidence. Furthermore, challenges test not only our strength, but also our faith. In moments of difficulty, it can be tempting to doubt ourselves or question the path we are on. Yet it is in these moments that faith becomes most crucial. Faith reminds us that challenges are temporary and that they serve a purpose beyond what we can immediately see. It reassures us that there is a greater plan at work and that no challenge is insurmountable when we lean on divine guidance and strength. These tests of faith deepen our trust in God and build a foundation of spiritual resilience that carries us through even the darkest times. Another important aspect of challenges is their ability to clarify our priorities and values. When faced with difficulties, we are often forced to evaluate what truly matters in our lives. Challenges have a way of stripping away distractions and bringing our focus to the things that are most important in our relationships, our purpose, and our principles. This clarity not only helps us overcome the immediate difficulty, but also guides us in making decisions that align with our long-term goals and values. Challenges also remind us of the importance of persistence. The path to success is rarely straightforward, and setbacks are a natural part of any journey. However, each setback is an opportunity to test our commitment and determination. Those who persevere through difficulties often emerge stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for the opportunities that lie ahead. Challenges teach us the value of endurance and remind us that progress is often made one step at a time, even when the way forward feels uncertain. Importantly, challenges are not just about individual growth, they also provide opportunities to inspire and uplift others. When we face difficulties with courage and perseverance, we become examples of strength and resilience for those around us. Our willingness to confront challenges head-on can encourage others to do the same. In this way, our struggles and triumphs contribute to a larger story, one that reminds others that challenges are not the end of the road, but a necessary part of the journey. It is also worth noting that challenges are often stepping stones to greater opportunities. Many of the world's most successful individuals faced significant challenges on their way to achieving their dreams. What set them apart was not an absence of obstacles, but their ability to view those obstacles as opportunities to grow and prove their determination. Each challenge they overcame prepared them for the next stage of their journey, ultimately leading them to success. In the end, challenges are not meant to defeat us, they are meant to develop us. They test our strength, refine our character, and prepare us for the greater responsibilities and opportunities that lie ahead. When we embrace challenges as tests rather than barriers, we shift our perspective and unlock a deeper sense of purpose and resilience. But we learn to face difficulties not with fear or frustration, but with confidence and determination, knowing that every test is an opportunity to grow stronger and move closer to our goals. By viewing challenges in this way, we transform them from obstacles into stepping stones and become the people we were meant to be. The plan of God is perfect, unchanging, and infallible. It is a divine blueprint that orchestrates the details of our lives, weaving them into a tapestry of purpose, growth, and destiny. The infallibility of God's plan means that no matter what happens, whether it appears to be good, bad, or uncertain, everything is working together for a greater purpose that exceeds human understanding. When we begin to grasp this truth, it transforms the way we perceive life's twists and turns, filling us with trust, hope, and peace even in the face of uncertainty. God's plan is infallible because it originates from his omniscience and sovereignty. Unlike human plans, which are subject to error, unforeseen events, or changing circumstances, God's plan is perfect in its design. He sees the end from the beginning and is never surprised by anything that unfolds. While we operate with limited perspective, God's view is eternal and comprehensive. Every detail of his plan is intentional, and there is no randomness or chance in his purposes. This truth assures us that even when life feels chaotic or unpredictable, God is in control, carefully orchestrating events to align with his will. One of the most reassuring aspects of God's plan is its consistency. Human plans often change due to information shifting priorities or unforeseen obstacles. However, God's plan is unchanging because it is based on his unchanging character. He is faithful, just and loving, and his purposes reflect these attributes. What he has promised will come to pass, and what he has purposed will be accomplished. This consistency provides a foundation of stability in a world that is constantly changing. We can trust that God's plan is steadfast and reliable, even when our circumstances seem uncertain. The infallibility of God's plan does not mean that life will be free of challenges or pain. On the contrary, difficulties are often integral to his plan, serving as tools for growth and transformation. Challenges refine our character, deepen our faith, and prepare us for the purposes God has in store for us. While we may not always understand why certain things happen, we can trust that every experience, both joyful and painful, has a role in God's greater design. He is able to take even the most difficult situations and use them for our good and his glory. The beautiful aspect of God's plan is that it is deeply personal. While his purposes encompass the entire universe, he also has a specific plan for each individual. This plan is tailored to our unique gifts, experiences, and potential. It is not a generic or one-size-fits-all approach. Rather, it is a carefully designed path that reflects God's intimate knowledge of who we are. He knows every detail of our lives, including our strengths, weaknesses, and desires, and his plan takes all of this into account. This personal nature of God's plan reminds us that we are not just part of a larger story, we are deeply valued and loved by the author of that story. Another important truth about God's plan is that it cannot be thwarted. No human action, circumstance, or opposition can derail what God has purposed. While people may try to hinder or oppose his work, their efforts are ultimately futile. God's plan prevails, often in ways that are unexpected or beyond our comprehension. This truth is a source of great comfort because it assures us that our destiny is secure in his hands. Even when life seems to be veering off course, we can trust that God is still in control, guiding us back to the path he has prepared. God's plan also operates on a timeline that is perfect, though it may not always align with our own expectations. Patience is often required as we wait for his purposes to unfold. During these times, it is easy to become frustrated or disheartened, especially when we do not see immediate results. However, God's timing is always intentional, and his delays are not denials. They are opportunities for growth, preparation, and alignment with his will. When we trust in his timing, we release the need to control outcomes and instead rest in the assurance that everything will happen as it should, when it should. The infallibility of God's plan also highlights his ability to redeem. Even when we make mistakes straight from his path or face the consequences of poor decisions, God's plan is not derailed. He has the power to take our failures and turn them into opportunities for growth and restoration. His grace ensures that nothing is wasted and that every detour can be woven back into his greater purpose. This redemptive aspect of God's plan reminds us that we are never beyond his reach and that no situation is beyond his ability to transform. Ultimately, the infallibility of God's plan invites us to live with trust and surrender. It calls us to release the need for control and to place our faith in the one who holds all things together. While we may not always understand his ways, we can rest in the assurance that his plan is good, his purposes are perfect, and his love is unwavering. When we align ourselves with God's plan, we step into a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment, knowing that nothing can separate us from his guiding hand. Courage in the face of opposition is one of the most powerful demonstrations of inner strength and resilience. It is the ability to stand firm in our convictions, values, and purpose despite challenges, criticism, or adversity. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in the presence of it. It is fueled by faith, determination, and an unwavering belief in the importance of the path we have chosen to walk. Opposition is inevitable in life, especially when pursuing meaningful goals or standing up for what is right, but courage is what enables us to face it with dignity and strength. Opposition can take many forms: criticism, resistance, betrayal, or even outright hostility. It often comes when we are striving for something significant or challenging the status quo. The presence of opposition does not mean we are on the wrong path. Rather, it is often a sign that we are doing something impactful. Courage allows us to view opposition not as a deterrent, but as an opportunity to grow, refine our purpose, and prove our commitment to what we believe in. Courage in the face of opposition begins with clarity of purpose. When we are deeply connected to our values and vision, we gain the strength to stand firm, even when faced with resistance. This clarity acts as an anchor, keeping us grounded when external forces try to shake our resolve. It reminds us of why we started and compels us to keep moving forward, even when the road becomes difficult. Without this sense of purpose, it is easy to become disheartened or distracted by the noise of opposition. Faith is another essential component of courage. Believing in a higher power or a greater purpose gives us the assurance that we are not alone in our struggles. Faith provides the confidence to trust that every challenge we face is part of a larger plan and that we have the strength and resources to overcome them. It transforms fear into hope and uncertainty into trust. Courage drawn from faith is unshakable because it is rooted in something greater than ourselves, a divine promise that we are equipped to handle whatever comes our way. Facing opposition often requires us to confront fear, failure, rejection, or criticism. Courage does not eliminate fear, but gives us the strength to move forward despite it. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty or risk, but it becomes a barrier only when we allow it to paralyze us. Courage allows us to acknowledge our fears without being controlled by them. It reminds us that growth lies on the other side of fear, and that every step we take in the face of opposition brings us closer to our goals. Another hallmark of courage is the willingness to persevere. Opposition often tests our endurance and resolve, pushing us to the limits of our strength. Perseverance is the ability to keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against us. It is rooted in the belief that every effort, no matter how small, contributes to a larger victory. Courage enables us to view setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and adapt. It keeps us moving forward one step at a time, even when progress feels slow or uncertain. Courage also involves the strength to remain true to ourselves in the face of opposition. It can be tempting to conform to others' expectations or compromise our values for the sake of acceptance or ease. However, true courage requires authenticity. It is the ability to stand firm in our beliefs, even when they are unpopular or misunderstood. This authenticity is a powerful force, inspiring others and creating a ripple effect of positive change. By remaining true to ourselves, we demonstrate the strength and integrity that opposition cannot shake. Moreover, courage in the face of opposition is not a solitary endeavor. It often involves seeking support from others who share our vision or values. Community and connection provide encouragement and strength, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. Courage does not mean facing challenges in isolation. It means having the wisdom to lean on others when needed and to draw strength from shared purpose and solidarity. Opposition also provides an opportunity to cultivate empathy and humility. Courage is not about overpowering others or proving ourselves superior. It is about standing firm in what is right while respecting others' perspectives. It requires the humility to listen, learn, and grow even in the midst of disagreement. True courage is marked by a balance of strength and grace, a willingness to stand firm without losing compassion for those who oppose us. Ultimately, courage in the face of opposition is transformative. It strengthens our character, deepens our faith, and sharpens our purpose. It teaches us to trust ourselves in the process, knowing that opposition is not the end, but a necessary step toward growth and success. Each act of courage builds our confidence and resilience, enabling us to face future challenges with even greater strength. Courage is not about avoiding opposition, but embracing it as an integral part of the journey. It is the force that propels us forward when the way is difficult, and the voice that reminds us to keep going when doubts arise. In the face of opposition, courage becomes our guide, our shield, and our light, illuminating the path ahead and leading us toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and victory. Empowerment through grace is a transformative force that reshapes how we see ourselves, how we live, and how we interact with the world. Grace at its core is an unearned gift from God, a manifestation of His love, favor, and mercy. It is not based on our efforts or merits, but on His nature. When we embrace grace as to boldly overcome challenges and fulfill our purpose with confidence and humility, grace is not just a passive gift, it is an active force that equips and enables us to do what we could never achieve on our own. The empowering nature of grace begins with its ability to redefine our identity. Many people struggle with feelings of inadequacy, failure, or unworthiness, but grace declares that we are loved, accepted, and valued by God regardless of our shortcomings. This unconditional acceptance is liberating. It frees us from the burden of trying to earn our worth or prove our value to others. Instead, we can live with the assurance that we are enough because God's grace covers our imperfections and empowers us to grow into the person He has called us to be. Grace also gives us the strength to face life's challenges. Difficulties and setbacks are inevitable, but grace reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. It provides the resilience to keep going even when we feel weak or overwhelmed. As the Apostle Paul famously said, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This profound truth reveals that grace is most powerful when we are at our lowest. It enables us to persevere through trials, not by our strength, but by relying on the divine strength that sustains us. Empowerment through grace also transforms how we approach failure. In a world that often equates success with worthiness, failure can feel devastating. However, grace reframes failure as an opportunity for growth and learning. It reminds us that our mistakes do not define us and that God's love is not diminished by our shortcomings. Instead of being paralyzed by fear of failure, we are empowered to take risks, try new things, and step out of our comfort zones. Grace gives us the courage to pursue our dreams and aspirations, knowing that even if we stumble, we are still held in the embrace of divine love. Another way grace empowers us is by fostering humility and gratitude. When we recognize that grace is an unearned gift, it humbles us, reminding us that our successes and achievements are not solely the result of our efforts. This humility does not diminish our confidence. Rather, it grounds us in a deeper understanding of our dependence on God. At the same time, grace fills us with gratitude, inspiring us to live with a spirit of generosity and kindness. Empowered by grace, we are moved to extend the same compassion and forgiveness to others that we have received, creating a ripple effect of love and empowerment. Grace also equips us to navigate relationships with wisdom and compassion. Human relationships can be complicated, marked by misunderstandings, conflicts, and disappointments. Grace enables us to approach these challenges with a spirit of forgiveness and understanding. It empowers us to let go of grudges, extend second chances, and seek reconciliation. By embracing grace, we create space for healing and growth in our relationships, fostering connections that are rooted in love and mutual respect. Furthermore, grace fuels our purpose and calling. Each of us has been given unique gifts and talents, but it is grace that empowers us to use them effectively. It removes the pressure of striving for perfection or competing for recognition, allowing us to focus on the impact we are meant to make. Grace gives us the confidence to step into our calling, trusting that God will provide the resources, opportunities, and strength needed to fulfill it. But also reminds us that our efforts, no matter how small, are significant in the grander scheme of God's plan. Empowerment through grace is not just about what we receive, it is also about how we give. Grace inspires us to serve others selflessly, knowing that we have been richly blessed. When we recognize the magnitude of the grace we have received, we are compelled to share it with those around us. This act of giving becomes a source of empowerment for others, creating a cycle of encouragement and growth. As we extend grace to others, we contribute to a culture of love, acceptance, and empowerment that reflects the heart of God. Ultimately, empowerment through grace transforms our entire outlook on life. It shifts our focus from striving to resting in God's provision, from fear to faith, and from self-reliance to divine dependence. Grace empowers us to live authentically and courageously, free from the limitations of fear, guilt, or inadequacy. It reminds us that our worth is not tied to what we do, but to who we are as beloved children of God. This realization fills us with a sense of purpose, hope, and joy that empowers us to face each day with confidence. In every aspect of life, grace is the key to true empowerment. It strengthens us when we are weak, encourages us when we are discouraged, and equips us to make a meaningful impact in the world. By embracing grace, we tap into a source of power that transcends human limitations and opens the door to a life of purpose, freedom, and fulfillment. Through grace, we are not only transformed, but also empowered to be agents of transformation in the lives of others, reflecting the boundless love and mercy of God.